I am now in the place where you can get personalised videos from all of your favourite celebrities, content creators and podcasters like me. If there is someone you want a personalised message for, a personalised shout out, a birthday message or just something funny, search for Darren Rees Football for Kids on the Cameo app now.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Will full coverage make me look cakey? Is my undertone neutral or is it cool? We get it. Finding the right foundation is hard. But with Il Maquillage, it's easy to find your perfect match online, customized for your unique skin tone and coverage needs. Plus, with Try Before You Buy, you can try your full size at home for 14 days. With over 600,000 five-star reviews, this best-selling foundation is going viral for a reason. Take the Power Match quiz now at ilmaquillage.com/quiz. ILMAKIAGE.com/quiz.
At Great Wolf Lodge, there's adventure for the whole family. You and your pack can splash away in the indoor water park where it's always 84 degrees. There's a wave pool, a lazy river, and a bunch of massive water slides, including ones your family can all enjoy together. They even have adventure-packed attractions, from the Northern Lights Arcade to delicious dining, and you can't miss the nightly family dance parties. With 23 lodges across the country, you're always only a short drive away from adventure. So bring your pack together at a lodge near you. Learn more at greatwolf.com, greatwolf.com, and strengthen the pack.
Welcome to the Football for Kids podcast with me, Darren Rees. This is a very special three-part episode on the extraordinary Frenchman and Real Madrid player Kylian Mbappé. This is part 3. If you haven't listened to parts 1 and 2, then please pause this, check out those 2 episodes and then come back to this one when you're ready. Episode 2 ended with Mbappé missing the penalty which made France exit the Euro 2020 tournament, which actually happened in 2021 due to the coronavirus pandemic. The way that Kylian Mbappé was treated by some people after missing that penalty was quite simply atrocious. He received thousands and thousands of abusive messages, slaughtering him for missing a penalty. They spoke about his looks, they spoke about his skin colour, they said awful things to him. He was so angry and so upset by the abuse that he received that he genuinely thought about quitting football when it came to playing for his country of France. And the people who gave him that abuse should be seriously ashamed of themselves. Fortunately, Mbappé continued to play for his country. After Euros and France's early exit, Mbappé kept on doing his thing for PSG. PSG then announced that a new player would be joining the team. They already had Mbappé and another bloke who you might have heard of, his name was Neymar, but the player that they would be announcing this time would be one which would stop the footballing world in its tracks. PSG had signed the greatest player in the world, Lionel Messi. They now had an attacking trio of Messi, Neymar and Mbappé, which on paper looks amazing. And when you say it, it sounds amazing. But the reality is, it just didn't really work. Messi never really fitted into PSG properly, and there were some big egos knocking about. Also, I guess one of the things about Mbappé is that he wants to be the man in football, and there's nothing wrong with that. He wants to be the best, and there's nothing wrong with that. He wants to be the most special, the most talked about. He wants to be the man. When Messi joined Mbappé, all of a sudden, Mbappé wasn't the most special player in the team. And that would have been a challenging thing to process for the young Frenchman. Before he knew it, and before the footballing world could keep up with it, Mbappé would be playing in another World Cup. This time, it was the Qatar 2022 World Cup. France would yet again make the final of this World Cup, and they would play Argentina again. Argentina, of course, had Messi, Mbappe's teammate. It was billed as Messi versus Mbappé. It also turned out to be one of the greatest World Cup finals there's ever been. Probably the greatest World Cup final I've ever seen. At half-time, Argentina were 2-0 up and they were running away with it. France needed to find something from somewhere because after 45 minutes, it was all over. The second half started and PSG were battling. At 80 minutes, Argentina was still 2-0 up. All they had to do was hold on for 10 minutes and they would have a very comfortable 2-0 victory and be World Cup winners. Mbappé had other ideas. 80 minutes in, he scored from the penalty spot. The thought of that miss that he had back in the Euros against Switzerland had gone. All he was focusing on was the here and now. He ran into the goal and he ran back to the centre. 1 minute later, Mbappé scored a goal, volleying it into the back of the Argentinian net to score his side even. The game went to extra time. It was incredible. The world sat and watched on the edge of their seats, no matter where they were watching it. Then, Lionel Messi, in the 108th minute, scored for Argentina to make it 3-2. And then, in the 118th minute, France were awarded yet another penalty. Mbappé yet again stepped up, cool as a cucumber, and he scored. He had a hat-trick, and he also became the second person ever to score a hat-trick in a World Cup final. The game was special, but it wasn't over as they had a penalty shootout to do. Messi and Mbappé took their penalties first, and both scored. But the game ended up being won by Argentina, and Messi, on that day, officially completed football. Mbappé and his teammates were devastated. Kylian returned to PSG a World Cup finalist, so close to being a 2-times World Cup winner. He also won the Golden Boot that year. He kept doing his thing for both club and country and breaking more records both as a player and as an individual, including being a part of that French side had the highest goal-scoring game in an international UEFA match when they beat Gibraltar 14-0. Mbappé, of course, found himself on the scoresheet more than once. On June 3rd, Mbappe's career with PSG would officially come to an end. He had done some truly wonderful things with PSG. His last ever goal for the club would be in May 2024, and it would be the last game he ever played in. He would leave PSG a multiple-time winner of the French top division, a Champions League runner-up, the highest PSG goal scorer there's ever been, and with bundles of other records. Mbappé would sign a 5-year contract with Real Madrid, and his presentation to the club, like Cristiano Ronaldo's, had 80,000 fans turn up to get a glimpse of him in that crisp white kit. Mbappé is very early on into his Real career, but he's already scored in the league and in competitions. He's already assisted and he's already lit up the pitch with his speed and generally his presence. Hopefully, he's got many, many years to come and he'll have many magical moments. I hope that you've enjoyed this 3-part series on a very special player. A player who had a dream that he worked towards every single day. Mbappé is proof that if there's something you really want and you're willing to give it all to get it, then you will get there. So take his story and let it inspire you. And remember, if you know somebody who loves football just as much as you do, then please tell them about Football for Kids. And whether you're playing football soon, watching it on the telly or pitch side, I hope that you enjoy the game. See you next time.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.